Hey, it happens. We're all coming in hot when you're really busy and you have 10 or 15 minutes, but that seems to be about all you can squeeze out of your day. Do you do the workout? And if you do, what do you do? That is inside this video. Stay tuned. Hey, I'm Debra Atkinson. I'm the founder of Flipping 50, and I flipped my 50. At 49, I quit everything, safety and security, and started Flipping 50 and coaching, marketing, and sales for the good ones, the health coaches, the fitness instructors, the personal trainers who felt like I don't know how to promote myself. And so I can't make a living here. And you want to be able to find the good ones. All of that. I was really busy for a very short time. And can you imagine starting over at 49? Very often, I found myself as a 30-plus-year fitness professional with just minutes to spend on exercise. So I needed to make every minute count. What I found actually a year later is I was in better shape than I'd been when I was spending hours either teaching, training, or training for marathons and endurance events. So I think it's true for you too. That was the birth of the Flipping 50 framework that we now teach trainers and coaches. But what I want to share with you is this. What do you do? So movement counts. It all counts. But if you're really going to make the most for metabolism or muscle strength, because we're concerned about not just right now and helping to relieve menopause symptoms, which can include overall weight gain or belly fat, that get our attention first and foremost. Let's just be honest. But also, mood, anxiety, and depression are at an all-time high post-menopause for women over 60. And looking at our support for sleep, movement matters. But how do you control also your longevity? Your muscle, your bone, and your brain health are going to be paramount to you in 10 years and 20. And I don't know about you, but I'm going all the way to triple digits. So at 61, I take pretty seriously how I'm going to spend my time. This is how I do it. So first and foremost, decision-making time. There's not room for all of it. But if I've got 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I will start with a core, and that 10 minutes will be those core exercises. If I have 15, I might add something else, but those core are there. If I have 20 minutes, I'm going to start the same way, and then I'm going to amplify with additional exercise. Just making that clear, it's really important. We're going to focus on if I have not done resistance training in the last 72 hours, about 3 days. That means Monday to Thursday. If on Thursday I'm short on time, I'm not going to wonder, do I walk, do I do HIIT, or do I do weights? I'm going to do weights. So you always want to stimulate that muscle mass whenever you need it. So if it's a day I might decide between HIIT and walking, matters a little bit less. But any time that I have a decision to make about what I'm going to do and I'm due for resistance training, I need to get that in. By the way, 48 hours was the minimum amount of rest. It's not every 48 hours do it. It's double check. Are you recovered? Not sore? Feel good? Your energy level is great. You're really ready to go. And if not, you might want to take that extra day of recovery. So first and foremost, summarize that one. If you're due for a resistance training, spend your time doing resistance training, even if you just have 10 minutes, and I'll show you how to do it. If that's you, when you're doing that resistance training, I would much rather see someone in 10 or in 15 or in 20 minutes, see them focused on compound exercises. That means more than one joint is involved. Squats. So we're flexing at the ankle, the knee, and the hip when we do squats. Lunges, same thing. We're stagger stanced, but we're still flexing at the knees and the ankles and the hip. So major muscle groups cross over joints, and we're getting more of them involved. If I am doing a single joint, not a compound exercise, I'm doing a smaller muscle group, it's not going to lend itself as much toward metabolism boosting. Even if you want to see yourself sleeveless and more sleek with arm tone and definition, the way to get there is actually to have a metabolism boost by doing strength training for major muscle groups. And really, those people that you see have great toned arms are probably doing a lot less arm exercise than you think that they might be doing. You're just getting to see the pretty muscle that's underneath because there's less fat there because they're boosting metabolism with major muscles. So let me make that clear. If you do your major muscles like squats, and that is quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes. You do chest press, your pectoral muscles on the front of you, and rows. So pulling from up or forward, depending, and from the floor if you're doing a bent over row. Those greater muscles in your back, latissimus dorsi, trapezius, those are major muscle groups, very large. They cover large spaces. And that means that in recovery, there's a lot of oxygen consumption and repair work going on. It's while the road construction is going on, the repair work happens that you're actually boosting the metabolism. So you want to think about those muscles being far more important than those small ones, like a single joint action, even leg extension. Definitely larger muscles than your arms, but not as valuable as squats and lunges or even deadlifts. So think about in 10 minutes, each strength training exercise you do on average would take about a minute. If you don't do very many repetitions because you're really going heavy, might take less than that, but you're more careful in the picking it up and the setting it down. So still an average of a minute makes sense. So you could do 3 sets of 3 exercises and get in good amount of repetition, even in 10 minutes. So 1, 2, 3, repeat it again, 1, 2, 3. And you're not taking much rest in between doing your squat, your chest press, and your pull before going back to your squat. But while you were doing your chest press and your pull, your squat, your legs got 2 minutes of rest. And the same is true for those other muscle groups. It's not the kind of sitting on a bench and scrolling kind of rest, but you are resting that muscle group and getting a very efficient use of your time. The thing we're negating is yes, you should do a warm up. Core temperature, do some walking for 5 to 10 minutes and do some cooling down as well. Don't skip those as we age, they do become more important. But if you can find that window where you've walked the dog, get the weight work in, and then do a little bit of stretching before you hop in the shower, you will be far better off. So, really important for you to think about here major muscle groups, compound exercises. Choose 3 exercises, a push, a pull, and a leg exercise. And you've done most of your major muscle groups. Even the smaller ones get to play. When you're pushing, you use triceps. When you're pulling, you use biceps. And you're getting that play, even though we don't focus on them during this workout. We get to check a big box, and that one is consistency. And you'll hear this over and over. Consistency trumps intensity. Now, I don't know that I love that saying because we do need some intensity, but if you stay consistent on some of those days when life is throwing you a lot of things, staying consistent and just hitting those muscles, you stay tuned up. So when that window of time opens up and it's bigger for a better workout, you are already there. You haven't missed a day or a week. And that's important too. Now let's talk about sets. So why is it so much better to choose 3 exercises? Do them 3 times or 4 if you have 15 minutes. That's how I would amplify that workout because I'm going to get a bigger metabolism boost. And not only during the exercise, it's really the key that it's after the exercise. My resting metabolic rate. That means at rest, I'm working on my computer, I'm sitting on an airplane, or I'm sleeping. Those activities or passive activities are going to actually use more energy. So there's a greater energy expenditure. And we could equate that to calorie burn. I don't love to dwell there, but this is much more about what it does to your hormones than it is calories in and out. You're going to boost your metabolism far greater if you do 3 sets or 4 sets than if you choose a lot of exercise and you only do those exercises, say, twice. That's really not giving you the boost in the metabolism that you need from those major muscle groups. So let's review. You're going to do compound exercises that make more joints flex and extend. That means you're using more muscles. You're going to focus on the big exercises, the push, the pull, and the leg exercises, not the little tiny ones, not on a day when you're really busy. You're going to do multiple sets. 3 trumps 2. So realize that 3 is actually a significant boost over twice or 2 sets. 4 is even better if you can. I sometimes will do 5 exercises and I'll do each of them 5 sets when I have more time. So if I don't have as much time, I might do 2 or 3 exercises 5 times or 3 exercises 4 times. Focus on the goal. So bone density also, push, pull. We're working through the spine. The leg exercises and the squats or the leg press if you're at a gym or the lunges are focusing on that total hip and the femur. Also really greatly important to your bone density. So metabolism, bone density, strength, and muscle mass. Strength also increases to a greater degree with multiple sets. So that 3rd or the 4th, and by the way, if you're postmenopausal, we need more volume, meaning more sets than we did when we were perimenopausal or premenopause. An important distinction. You're not slowing down just because of your age. You're only going to slow down if you decide, because I'm too old, I'm going to do less. Don't do that. We actually need more just to compensate for the age and for being postmenopausal with a lower level of estrogen. Even if you're doing hormone replacement, you're still not probably putting yourself back to factory or industry settings, right? When you were young. So you have a little bit less, a little bit different. So make sure you're getting the volume that you need. That's how I would use 10 minutes, or if I've got 15 minutes, that's how I use it. Expanding to 20 or 25, that's where I would potentially pull in some hamstring curls, either on a machine or if I'm at home, I'm on my back using a ball, rolling that ball in and out. Hamstring work, by the way, really important to pull that one in first. When you balance squats and lunges, which are heavily dominant by the quadriceps, we have a better balance in our front and back of the leg. Our knees are much happier for a longer time in our life. And you all know what I mean. That's important. Let me know if you have questions, but that's how to use 10 minutes or 15 minutes. When that window appears, this is the most important. Always keep the most important things first in your workout and narrow your workout down to those things if you're short on time. It always counts. Stay consistent. I'll see you on the flip side.